Hello, I'm Joe O'Brien. Welcome to this broadcast of the memorial services marking 10 years since the Bali bombings. You're watching live across Australia on ABC1 and ABC News 24 and on the Australia Network and online. Over the next few hours, we'll remember the 202 people who lost their lives in the twin terror attacks in Kuta on this day in 2002. The vast majority of the victims were Australian. Most between 20 and 30 years old. 88 died in the suicide blasts at Paddy's Bar and the Sari Club just across the road. Some were on their first overseas holiday. Some were with mates celebrating the end of the footy season. They died alongside other Western tourists and the Balinese going about their nightly routine. Hundreds were wounded. The local hospitals coped as best they could. Terror visited the innocent that night, and for many of the survivors, it hasn't left. The Islamist group Jemaah Islamiyah was to blame. 3 of its members were convicted of involvement in the bombings and have been executed. And so now we're standing by to take you to a memorial service in the Great Hall in Parliament House in Canberra. Among the guests, the Governor-General, Quentin Bryce. Then at 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, we'll cross live to Michael Rowland in Bali ahead of the memorial service at Jimbaran. The Prime Minister Julia Gillard, the former Prime Minister John Howard and the opposition leader Tony Abbott will be among the guests. They'll join survivors of the bombings and the relatives of those who died. Then tonight, an ABC News special, Bali Remembered Out of the Darkness. It recounts the harrowing and sometimes uplifting stories of those touched by terror. That's on ABC News 24 at 7:30 tonight, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, and at 10:55 on ABC1 straight after Lateline. Now, the Canberra Memorial Service is about to begin in the Great Hall of Parliament House. Now, as I mentioned before, the Prime Minister Julia Gillard and the opposition leader Tony Abbott and the former Prime Minister John Howard are attending that service in Bali today, so they're not going to be at this service in Canberra. Instead, representing the major parties will be the Honourable Chris Evans, representing the Prime Minister, and Julie Bishop is going to be representing the Leader of the Opposition.